Welcome to the Media Layer Sandwich. I'm Toaden, or this is Toaden's Media Layer Sandwich. That's right, because I want to put my name on it for some reason. Anyways, I'm here with my buddies Smallsy.
Hey, yo, what's going on, guys?
And Richie.
Yo.
Or is it Rich? Richie?
Rich.
And, yeah, we're talking about this movie. Okay, so I saw this poster. It looked really, really cool. Popeye's Revenge. I figured it would by the same people that did Blood and Honey. I didn't do any research before. I was like, we gotta do this. I just loved the poster. I love the poster. Terrible movie.
Right, the poster's probably the best thing about the movie, though.
Why not, man? If you could sell the poster, you're gonna have a cult classic.
Yeah.
Honestly, with the poster like that, I really was expecting a lot more from this. It seemed like they put a lot of thought into it, or just, like I said, the way they worked it out, it actually looked like it might be a fun watch.
Yeah, there was effort put in the poster. I can't say that about the movie, but there was effort in the poster for sure. The movie, I'll start us off. In the description, it was like, it was basically Jason, right?
Right.
It said something about teenagers starting a summer camp, which they were not. They were trying to do some kind of horror thing, which they brought no lumber, no actual building stuff. They were making posters. So I don't even know what the plot makes no sense. I don't even know what they were trying to do.
I think we didn't see them do any work besides possibly painting. Other than that, they just spent their time drinking in a hot tub.
I don't think they even were painting. I think oh, you're right. They might have been painting at one point. They were doing posters.
There definitely was painting, but if I remember right, I think they were just like stroking the like brushes against like an empty canvas. I don't. They were like supposed to be like pantomiming painting, which was I kind of thought was really funny about the movie.
Yeah, and they were making signs. Signs for what? I don't know. They said it was like some kind of haunted house or something. Something that was absolutely asinine. The movie makes no sense. I don't know how much we want to actually break it down. I know when the movie first started, because I was like, oh, we got to watch this. This poster's awesome, if anything. And then I was like, oh, it's the same people that Blood and Honey, my expectations a little bit lower, but I never actually saw those. But the first time I go, oh, great. Is this an adult film? Did I just we're going to review an adult film? Please. I checked the runtime, because usually like on Tubi, if it's like 45 minutes, it's an adult film that they just edit all the adult stuff out. You miss all the actual context, all the feeling, all the all of the best acting in the world. You miss the soul of the movie. This was not it. This was just like, this has been really cool in the 80s or early 90s. Before the internet was designed for not for kids material.
It probably still.
I'm trying to be careful, because I know some people don't want to put headphones on when their kids are around, so I'm trying to be careful. But yeah. Anyway, who wants to go first?
Well,
who wants to tell me?
I just wanted to say it probably would have been more entertaining as an adult film, to be honest with you. So and so the movie starts, right, and then. They try to give us like a little backstory about Popeye, and I'm just like, oh man, that's kind of interesting, right? They're gonna, break down the backstory or the lore of Popeye and why his arms are the way they are, and maybe go into how he became a sailor and all this stuff, and then none of that. I mean, I guess he was just bullied as a kid. Has big forearms, no explanation why he was born that way.
Yeah, they just said he was a mutant when he was born.
A mutant? Okay.
He was a mutant when he was born. And he had violent tendencies, and he was picked on, or something happened, and then he ended up killing a classmate.
By the way, all of this is told through like these weird like drawings, like a sketch.
Yeah.
Right? It's not even like...
Oh, that was the coolest part of the film.
You thought so?
Possibly.
I saw it, and I was like, oh, it's going to be one of those, low budget type of films, obviously. That's the first thing I thought about. And it was just downhill from there, to be honest with you.
See, like I said, best part. Yeah, best part. And then it was like, oh, great, is this an adult film? Please don't tell me this is an adult film. And then I kept repeating that throughout. I'm looking at my notes. I kept repeating that throughout the movie. It'll be an hour in. I'm like, oh, it took it this long to become, please don't say this is an adult film. it made no sense why it was like an old it was an old like campy slasher movie. You might as well just go watch Jason 2, the old Friday the 13th series, because it was kind of like that. And there was very little. I mean, the explanation was, he comes and goes in the fogs. He's a spirit. This is not. He's Popeye because he popped the kid's
I was
eye
confused at the whole thing because it's like, is he living on the property, or is he a ghost? Like, I just didn't get it.
They said he comes and goes with the fog.
Fog. Okay.
He's a mutant ghost guy who has a house that they wanted to turn into a horror attraction, but then you see him have a boat also, and he comes and like lives in the mist. I'm just, my problem with this whole thing is I don't mind a bad horror film, but I really just don't like a movie where you leave like when the credits roll with more question than answers. Like it doesn't have to be well thought out, but at least throw a couple of lines of dialogue about what he is, or
my main question was
some of the big huge like loose ends here, because that's like, it's, at least if it was a porn, like you'd have a reason for like the bad writing here. Like you got a free IP because Popeye went into public domain,
right?
And you're not even paying for that. So at least, I mean, you could spend a couple bucks on at least trying to tie up a couple loose ends.
Yeah,
here.
all they took was the aesthetics of the Popeye character. That was it.
By the way, how do you guys feel about the design? Like what they, the design of the character.
I thought he looked cool as hell.
Thought he looked cool?
I thought he looked really cool. I didn't really care about the burn marks, though.
Yeah, they could have left that out,
I think
honestly.
But actually kind of looked a little cheesy on there.
Yeah.
I dig how you guys were saying about like being some Mongoloid with the weird arms and all that, and he had the little anchor tattoo, but I didn't hate him as like aesthetically.
But I hated him as a British man.
The American character. Like, why are we in England?
Why are all the characters talking with accents in the British? I mean, I guess I wouldn't really have been upset. Well, I wasn't ever upset about it. I was upset how bad the movie was.
More sleepy than upset.
Yeah. But yeah, it like they could have at least like pretended that this wasn't in England, or that he was a sailor or something. I mean, at one point, like, oh, he's living on a boat. Oh, no, that's the boat owner that we never met or never saw. He's dead in the corner.
That what it was? I thought that was his boat. Man.
Yeah, there's a body just in the corner. I don't think it belonged to anybody. Maybe it was one of the guys from the very beginning. I don't know. I was like, oh, it's just a random corpse.
It's almost like they were like, let's grab this IP and make a film before anyone else does.
Yeah, which there are 3 coming out this year. I don't know if any of them are already out, but there are 3 of them. I think this is the only one by this company, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
And we talked about it before we got on, right? Like, I don't mind a bad slasher film.
Yeah.
We got we were talking Leprechaun and Jason in Space.
Well,
those
not
are
Leprechaun, but more Lep in the Hood.
Lep in the Hood, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Or Jason Goes to Space. Like, because those are a little more comical, but at least like you're watching them and you tell they at least put forth some type of effort. Maybe the budget's a little bigger on a Jason film, but like I said, when you see like Jason in space and he freezes the guy in liquid nitrogen, you see him smash the face and it breaks to 1,000 pieces.
That was cool.
It's still kind of cool, but here it's like, oh, I'm gonna rip out his spine, but just they don't have the budget. It's like they almost spent more on their whole budget on the fog machine and the browsers freaking actresses than anything else in this whole film.
See, this is why people like trauma films. Like, because trauma productions, they're like, yeah, we're not doing any of that fancy stuff, just all practical effects.
Right.
And I'm not a big horror fan, but I gotta love practical effects. What was that line you said? You told me earlier, and I totally agree. They spent more on what than the actors?
The fog machine.
Yeah.
And then that's what it is too, because if you don't have the budget for the effects, and at least have the writing and the dialogue be so entertaining. I hated every character in the movie.
Oh, dude, I think they could have got Foggy Fog as a sponsor. I mean, if you guys don't know Foggy Fog, they basically make fog mostly for events and haunted house attractions and stuff like that. They're at a bunch of trade shows, always really cool, and they bring out really cool stuff. But yeah, they should have just had a Foggy Fog sponsorship. You just
Popeye's Revenge, sponsored by Foggy Fog.
They could just be like, oh yeah, we already have a sponsor for the haunted house, Foggy Fog. Look at all this fog, and actually, no, that'll probably be the sequel because that way it's oh yeah, we could go there because there's no fog this time of year, and they made their own. But I'm getting ahead of myself that's clever.
Yeah. Unlike this movie. I'm just saying. And then there was a scene, right? So we're going into the movie, right? They go up to wherever they're at, and this house on the lake, and I guess it's haunted by Popeye. And let's just go to the first kill, I believe it was, with the girl in the jacuzzi, right? Mm-hmm. Remember that scene?
Botox girl.
Botox girl. He grabs her, chokes her out, drowns her, and then leaves. And 20 minutes into the movie, the rest of the characters are in the jacuzzi as if there wasn't a body in it. So what happened? Did Popeye take her out, or did they filter it out? It just made no sense to me. What happened? Did no one realize that she dead, or?
I know they did mention it, that they found bodies in the house, and that was it.
Okay.
That was the kids didn't know, but the mother knew, which there's a whole backstory with that makes of the mother. It makes no sense. You remember, he doesn't just have a house, but all those cabins are his. Mm. So you're telling me, and by the way, if you didn't catch it yet, we don't care. Spoilers. This is one of those movies where if you want to watch a cheesy slasher movie, spoilers don't freaking matter.
Sorry for spoiling Popeye's Revenge.
I'm not. I'm not. I'm saving you time. But the backstory makes no sense because there's like 6 cabins, then the main house. I could be getting the numbers wrong, but something like that. And the parents, they all went after the parents because the kid, murdered another kid. I shouldn't say murder. I should say kill because I don't know. He was getting picked on, so you can play with that one. And they say that Popeye had only one friend because they locked him up or something afterwards, trying to keep him safe. They locked him up, and he had a friend. Now later on, we kind of think that this friend is probably his sister that keeps coming up. Olive Oil. Yeah, that's right. They made Olive Oil his sister.
Right.
No, we're not degenerates at all, which may actually explain why her facial structure is different and he's a mutant. Because but anyways.
Well, that's the other thing too, is you got this Popeye, property here, and I was expecting if they're using olive oil too. I was like, "Where's Wimpy at? Is it just a guy eating cheeseburgers halfway through this thing?"
I think they gave Wimpy a beanie.
Oh, that was supposed to be Wimpy. The guy
I have no idea, but
I'm jerking off on the dock.
I don't know, but I figured that's either Wimpy or Bartleby. Oh man.
I mean, it is Popeye, right? It's not too much, to go on. I mean, it's an older cartoon, but you could have done a little bit more with it. There's more characters,
Oh yeah, because Popeye himself was a spinoff.
Right.
Yeah. I like the nod to the spinach though. They show a spinach can rolling, just kind of looks at and smiles, and then move on. I think they were afraid that there was other things that could be trademarked, but
okay. If we're gonna pedal back to that.
Yeah.
You say it's a nod there, but this is what I mean about leaving with more questions. You see him eat the spinach right before, and like I said, spoiler here, he fights one of the male characters who's apparently 5 minutes before this a boxer, and he's punching a hole in a wooden door, a table, oh, this guy has hands here. And all of a sudden you see him eat the spinach. I'm like, did that make him strong enough to kill this kid?
It's almost like a throwaway.
Yeah, but Popeye was already strong in this. They show him manhandle everybody. The dude is just swinging an anchor like it's nothing. It's the weirdest anchor I've ever seen.
But that's what that's my whole point, though. He's already strong. So are you just letting him eat the spinach as a nod to be yeah, look, it's Popeye. There's your spinach.
Oh, it's definitely a nod.
Or is it he ate the spinach to give the power to actually beat a professional or semi-professional British boxer kid in this film? I was confused about on that part when I was watching. I'm
but
is there any relevance to him eating?
I think that'll be answered in Popeye in the Hood when they have him hook up with the prostitute, and his anchor becomes a lot bigger after he eats the spinach.
Well, I was just gonna say if he was already strong before, why didn't they just like show him in the first kill when they're in Popeye's house where the first kill happens, a bunch of empty spinach cans like in there, like, oh, he must be super strong already, like,
he's here.
As
that would have been good.
Well, yeah, that's what I mean about the poor nonsensical writing in this.
Stop being clever.
No,
that would be good. That would be clever.
Dude, that's my whole point. Why I feel like maybe it was a nod, maybe it wasn't. Maybe he needed that.
And I would say same thing with a boat. They should show like cans of spinach everywhere that he's hung out at. I agree. I thought that would been oh my god! And they run and they find themselves in a spinach field. Oh,
Olive digs his body up and dumps spinach on him to resurrect him.
Just another thing.
That's how that should end, because he killed his quote unquote friend. Go ahead, because I want to get back to the weird setup.
Back to like how it said about like there were other characters in this. You would think that this movie would have probably had something to do with like a baby, because like Sweet Pea was a character too. Maybe the possession of like Popeye, and that's what he was trying to cross back over, like some Chucky type thing. I just feel like there's about a billion different ways they could have executed this film, and it really just made it the longest 92 minutes I've ever had to sit through a bad movie.
I'd rather him be possessed by the spirit of Robin Williams than whatever the heck this thing was doing. But back to kind of like the myth of that they're going through is that, he kills this kid, parents hide him, lock him in the basement, and then he has a friend, and they don't say who the friend is. We find out later that he has a sister who was already locked in the basement. So his parents have something because they own all these cabins, and it's like they live there, but it's they have it's like a camp or like a summer rentals or whatever it may be. They're far away from the city. But however, we find out that everyone had the main character's mother as a teacher, and but she was this kid's teacher. She was Popeye's teacher, and the main character doesn't remember Popeye. Apparently, she was a big influence in Popeye's life. She doesn't remember it. It makes no sense that she even part of this, because she doesn't remember any of this. They never use it anywhere. Like they just start throwing out at one. I mean, who are we kidding? The writers were just high as heck, man. Hey, it'd be cool.
Now, I feel like if they were high, they would have probably had a little more clever like ways to execute this film. I feel like it was just.
I wish I was high.
So do you think it was meth instead?
I feel like it's just a money grab. They could.
Put
a couple bucks in for something that went into public domain. Because there's 3 other ones that are coming out, or 2 other ones besides this one.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the same company.
Not by the same thing, but just
But they did the Blood and Honey ones, the Winnie the Pooh ones. So they're already known for this. Which I don't understand why they're different universes, or they're just telling us that just to change their mind later. Because it wouldn't make a lick of sense for them not to be in the same universe.
Well, that's honestly the only saving grace that I feel like could make this movie worth watching again, because they said that all the Blood and Honey, they're 2 totally different universes, but like maybe it might be a little bit more of a fun like slasher film if like there was a team up with like Winnie the Pooh and Popeye and whatever
maybe have Easter eggs in each movie.
Come back in here, like
the Mickey. I know there's a Mickey Mouse one. I don't
like
know if I buy
the
same company,
but type or Freddy vs. Jason type Tubi spot. They would.
Oh yeah, all these are on Tubi. Yeah.
Well, I mean, I didn't hate Freddy vs. Jason back in the day. Or even,
I love that one.
But like,
I think I got a bootleg of that one. Like we loved that when that came out.
But you're telling me if you're gonna get all these, things that go into public domain, but they're not gonna be in the same universe, and maybe it's a like legal thing, but like you could have these weird public domain things all team up, or even all verse each other at like the final like roadmap to where these Tubi movies are going. That might be kind of more interesting than just Popeye getting ran over by the riding lawnmower. The John Deere took him out.
And I want to bring that up too. Like, if the writing's going to be bad, dialogue's going to be bad, at least have the kills and the actions at least somewhat entertaining. I wasn't really entertained by any of the kills. I mean, we were talking about the guy on the pier, right? Gets hit by the anchor, and he pulls some weird Mortal Kombat finisher, rips his spine out and then rips his head off. I'm like, that's
so
kind of
weird.
Yeah, that's kind of lame, you know. Like, and then you go to the girl who gets caught in the net, right? She gets caught in the net and he drives the slowest lawnmower I've ever seen. It takes him like 10 minutes to get to her legs.
It was an Austin Powers kill with the steamroller.
Yeah, it was almost super cartoonish. Well, I mean, it's a cartoon, adaptation, but it's almost like they didn't care. It makes me, I don't care. It makes me not want to care either. One of the, one of the most, I would never get that 92 minutes back.
Yeah, I actually kind of wish they didn't kill the fisherman because he was just like, oh, I should be fine because he's lived around this.
Yeah,
he didn't go in the house. Like they keep telling the kids, go away, don't go in the house, don't do this. This is the way you survive. He didn't do any of that. He was literally just out fishing.
Yeah, and then you have like action scenes in other movies that are like super iconic. You brought up, Jason in Space where he freezes the guy's face in nitrogen, he cracks it, right? Those are iconic action scenes. None of this, there was no scene in this movie that was like that. We're just like, man, that was cool. They actually put some thought into that one.
They're at least fun. I don't know if they're iconic per se, but they're at least
for the
fun
movie.
For a sense where you're going into just watching a bad movie. At least there's gonna be some type of like joy out of watching it, whether you get if you're a horror fan, you like all the kills, or you're a horror fan, or you like the killer itself, like Ghostface and Scream and things like that. There's at least something that's gonna make you want to watch this whole film. I just was like struggling to get through, and I don't say that about a lot of films because I watch a lot of bad films.
Okay, so top of your head, what besides Freddy vs. Jason and the Freddy movies and the Jason movies, what are some quote unquote bad horror movies that were fun and you maybe not willing to rewatch, but that come to mind because there's a ton of them.
Yeah, there is a ton of them. You ever seen the Boy on Netflix? It's like the possessed doll or something.
Okay, so it's another doll one.
One of those types, and it's super entertaining. The jump scares are nice. You go in knowing that it's a bad film. It's got 5 stars, but at least you're.
Is this one in a sailor costume? Because I know all of them were originally based on some kind of like doll with a sailor costume, like little kids.
Yeah, some old timey thing. Now, if you're talking slasher movie, he brought up like Leprechaun in the Hood. I think that movie's hilarious.
Yeah. I got a couple in my mind. Do you have any that came to your mind, Rich?
I was gonna say a couple like Candyman, but I feel like that's still too much like to go on.
Yeah.
Like, because I know the budget still has to be a lot bigger and better than that. But what about even so like one of the biggest like failed movies out there, the Rocky Horror Picture Show? I'd rather watch that. And that was.
But that wasn't really a slasher though.
What I'm saying as a horror film though, and that's what I'm saying. Off the top of my head, I'm just trying to think of something that would like. On par with this, or that's at least better. That
the puppet, was it Puppet Masters or whatever, the ones with all the puppets?
You know what?
And they made like a bunch of those.
Ooh, what about Terrifier?
I
never watched it, but I see a lot of people dress up like them.
Yeah. I mean, the character's iconic, right? Like people love them. It's a goofy film, right? You don't take it seriously.
That's exactly what I was about to say here. That at least if you're doing like Terrifier, like at least the kills, like are a little bit more well done in the Terrifier film, and that's what draws the audience in. People aren't watching this because they think it's gonna be Citizen Kane here.
Right.
People are watching it to get some type of enjoyment out of this, and at least they have some like kills where the guy was in bed and he's beating the guy, I think, with like a hammer while he's like laying in bed and the girl's laying next to him. Like there are at least some type of like comical things you're gonna laugh at.
Yeah, because that's what I was thinking. I was thinking of like all the old Full Moon productions and Troma productions. So like the subseries subspecies. Really weird vampire movie subspecies series. The one where Tommy Chong does the voice of a Killer Bong. That's it, Killer Bong.
Yeah.
The puppet movies, the Reanimator, and then you get into Troma stuff like Sergeant Pookie Man, NYPD. I don't want to review it because I don't think we can. But the times have changed a little bit.
Those are fun movies. Those are like, say you got
killing
like a Halloween
people by
party.
A white guy killing people by chopsticks today might not fly.
You might get in some trouble for that, bud.
Yeah.
But those are movies like, say you got a Halloween party, you have people over, you can just throw it on in the background, you know, it's whatever.
Oh, those are fun.
Yeah,
in fact,
fun.
that's how I saw Leprechaun in the Hood. I was at well, it's no longer around, so it was this punk bar called the Rockery, which is like this dive punk bar, which it was great because you had bands from all around America driving and will play there. I was at this, I was at the show there because it's $5 cover, and you just go check out who's playing. And they're playing Leprechaun in the Hood with captions on, and I didn't really care about them. I wasn't going to dance or nothing. I was just there to hang out, so I'm just listening to the music and reading along with Leprechaun in the Hood. Yeah. Like, this is great. This is great.
And also, I feel like they sold themselves short with the film, too, right? I don't want to be, like, a prude about it, but, when they have the adult themes and suggestive themes, I think they sold themselves short on the audience that they could have, right? I mean, we talk about movies like Terrifier, and those are like goofy films. Yeah, it's just like now you put yourself in a position where, like, say if I wanted to, like, like I said, have a party and throw a random slasher film on in the background, I necessarily wouldn't pick that film, not because it's bad and boring, but they have way too many suggestive themes in it to where I wouldn't want that shown, right?
Oh, and then just another film too that I just popped into my head that got kind of bad towards the end, and I think they just relaunched it. But remember Final Destination?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And I mean, those are known for their like over the top kills, but that's why people went to go see them.
Yeah.
When you have a guy here and it just looks horrible that he's getting strangled, but he's actually pulling his spine out of his back, and there's like no blood, and this drops it down on the dock. It's just it kind of just ruins it because like it's not even like a creative kill. It's not a good story.
Evil Dead 2, it is not.
It just left me wanting to turn this movie off, and I knew I had to watch it just literally to talk about it on this podcast.
The thing is too, Bud, he's not dead. So
yeah, there, Bud.
Sequel incoming.
I don't remember. Did Olive Oil die?
He's still alive, dude.
Did Olive Oil die? I don't remember.
They lit her on fire. Yeah,
they should have left. Not Olive Oil. It's going to come back as a
revenge movie when he already revenged.
What was he revenging, though?
That's my whole point.
They already built.
It should have been called Popeye, and then the second one here should be Popeye's Revenge.
I honestly didn't understand what he was upset about, to be honest with you.
Yeah. Oh, we're forgetting a part here. So he's mostly Jason because he's terrorizing kids there around his area.
Camp Crystal Lake, yes.
But he's also Freddy. They don't show this, but they said the reason they rebuilt the houses and the cabins and everything because he wouldn't leave them alone in their dreams.
Wow, you're right.
Mm-hmm.
So he's Freddy and Jason, and these people moved out. They said they drove 12 hours, 6 to 12 hours to get to the thing. Which, by the way, if they're in England, they drove from another country. But yeah, it seems like they get there in like an afternoon. The movie doesn't make sense once you start writing anything down. I guess Harrison Ford said it best about Star Wars when he just said this ain't that kind of movie.
If you think about it for more than 30 seconds, it starts to fall apart.
This is not that kind of movie. Stop thinking about it. It's just supposed to be a really cool version of Popeye killing people. That's the tagline right there. That's the tagline for all these movies. Because this was Revenge of Popeye, and then there's Popeye the Slayer Man, which I don't, unless the 5 people listening to this really request it, I don't think we're gonna do that one.
Man.
And then there was another one too. I don't remember the name of the other. I don't know if they're even out. I don't even.
Shiver Me Timbers. Is that the name of it?
That is the name.
That's funny.
No.
Okay.
I thought that was a different property, but that doesn't make sense. I don't know. I know there's one for Mickey Mouse that already came out or is coming out of the Steamboat Willie.
Mm-hmm, but that's my whole point. Of it. You could have a whole universe of like Steamboat Mickey and Popeye and Winnie the Pooh at the end, romance with all these bad horror films. Maybe it might be kind of cool to have all those things in one, movie. Meant to have fun. Maybe put a little bit more thought and creativity in this when you are using free public domain characters that have been, around since the beginning of time, basically.
But it is too. Like, just some more thought and creativity. I mean, Sharknado has a cult following. I mean, there's a niche for everything, right?
I just looked down my notes, and there's something that really did get me with Popeye's look. out so much waiting for him to look up and look around and go, "Hey, you guys."
I was literally, that's something I thought when I was watching. It's funny you say that, because I was like, it doesn't even seem like Popeye. It's more like Sloth from the Goonies.
Yeah, yeah.
It's literally, I literally said that when we were watching this.
I am's what I am's. Hey, you guys.
All right, so what do you rate it? Like out of 10.
Out of 10? Oh, God.
It's 100 easier.
I mean, strictly for them girls' rack in that movie,
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna give it a 3. And it's only because
Nice rack.
she had such a nice rack.
No, it wasn't.
I liked it. Or the hard nipples when they're all standing there talking.
Where do we rate it?
One of my other notes is, why would you be wearing a flesh-colored dress for renovation work? So I give this 2 out of 5 HD TVs.
2.5. I'm gonna split the difference. Would you say 3?
3.
2.5. I'll go 2.7, but I'll split the difference. But I mean, just nothing really there. I mean, boring, not entertaining.
They weren't even doing any renovations, and everything was already set up, and they were just making posters. I'm sorry. I think the Property Brothers would be very disappointed in this.
Well, like that's the whole thing about if they were there doing renovation, you think there'd be tools, and maybe they would get a couple decent kills off with like a nail gun or a saw or something crazy, you know? Like he's super strong. What if he just took the blade and like ripped it across the river and skipped it like 3 times and hit somebody in the chest or severed a head?
Well, there were so many slapstick jokes in the cartoons. Like they could have brought that, like someone with the 2x4 turning and hitting somebody and stuff like that. Like it would be a nod. It would be, like, I'm not saying that would be great. By the way, where's Pluto during this? Like, or Bruto, or whatever. What was the bad guy's name? Bluto.
And I assume he should have been like the narrator. Like, that's what I was like, going to think. I was like, he'll probably have like a Bluto, and like the narrator of like.
He'll be in the sequel. He's the father.
The father.
But
didn't Pop already have a father? Remember that Robin Williams? Like,
yeah.
What happens when you don't eat your spinach?
Right, but I mean, they don't care about that. I mean, Olive Oil was his sister, so Bluto being his father. I mean, come on. They locked the kids in the room. The Olive Oil was already locked in there. No one knew who she was.
Right.
I mean, they have their own isolated camp where they lock their kids up and probably torture them in some way. Even just locking them is torture. And how does everyone in the town? It just makes. I'm sorry. I'm trying to make sense of this again.
I just don't understand why Popeye didn't have any dialogue. Like, I just don't get it. I mean, he has some one-liners that are, that would have been a better nod to any fans out there, and they just chose not to do it.
Yeah.
Well, that goes back to what you're saying about like, was the spinach there because it powered him up, or was it just there just to be like, look, it's Popeye. There's a can of spinach.
That's what it was.
I'm still, but I'm not even sure about that. Like you say it is, but I'm not 100% sure. Because that guy looked like they were trying to show he was pretty tough, punching his his fist through a table, like a wooden table. He's just punching through it. Like, you know how much strength you need for that? I thought they were showing this was gonna be the big showdown. This and Popeye, and then Popeye ate his spinach and just demolished him.
Yeah, there was no showdown. It was just, is it over yet?
Maybe the sequel will be better, guys.
Popeye's Revenge of the Revenge.
Revenge isn't over.
It's all right. Slayer Man is gonna be so much. Oh my god. No, when I say Slayer Man, I'm just thinking the music Slayer. So I can't even say Slayer Man with a straight face. Popeye the Slayer Man. Can one of these at least be set in America, or at least have him in the Navy or something? Oh, one thing I did kind of like, I liked watching his outfit get more and more bloody. It makes no sense that it started off clean, by the way. It makes zero sense because this guy obviously doesn't care. But it was fun watching it get drenched and go from like a white uniform to like that dark blue, the other one that he wears.
I just feel like this movie
was kind of cool. That was clever.
I just feel like it would have been better if if this movie took place on a boat.
Yeah, that would have been again clever.
Like you just get a giant boat we're running around on.
Carnival cruise.
Yeah, it just like the whole story, like they didn't really think this whole thing out. It literally is like porn writing.
What do you want to do our own on the Detroit Princess?
I might. I'd write it better.
That's for sure.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can. I don't know, you could literally just throw paint at the wall and it'll write it better.
It's almost like they put this film through like an AI generator, like film generator.
I don't. I think that'd make it better. Oh, that's so bad. All right, so we already rated. So you gave it. Was it 3 out of 5 or 3 out of 10? You gave it.
Oh, I gave it 3 out of 10.
3 out of 10. I gave
and
it.
That was only because the girl had a decent rack.
1 point for each one.
I gave it 2 out of 5.
Yeah, 2.7. Yeah.
Yeah, I gave it 2 out of 7.
No, 2.7 out of
2
10.
Out of 10.
Yeah, split the difference.
That's so bad. It was. I mean,
it wasn't the worst movie I've ever seen.
There are some really bad movies I love because they're fun.
This was just boring, dude.
I can't see if it was fun. I can't put this movie on with a bunch of friends because somebody is going to be talking about someone else's chest and be saying, "Wait, did you just put porn on? Is this an adult film?" It'd be even worse if someone recognized the actress from some of the previous work that you were telling me about they were in, because they were an adult film actress.
There is one.
You know,
don't say who.
Oh, I recognize that person.
Do your own research.
And that's always a thing, because I knew someone that did that when I was at a job, and they came to visit me like, oh, that person was this movie from 1987. She's in from this minute to that minute. And like, why are we friends, man? Like, I'm literally at work. This isn't that kind of job. Like, and he was right, by the way, too. All right, so our last episode we did Sergeant York. This one we did Popeye the Slayer Man. Stay tuned.
Friday we got going.
Oh yeah, I feel like with this, we're still trying to figure out what we're going to do with this. We might have rotating co-hosts or something. Or I might even just step out one of these episodes. I don't know. We're going to figure this out as we go. But yeah, let us know, because like I was thinking of like just going to like a concert and sitting in the parking lot tailgating with an open podcast microphone. I don't see it going well if I did Man on the Street, but maybe if it was something where someone would have to sit down. I don't know. I see some issues with that too. But we'll figure it out. I see this as anything media-wise. Yeah. Anything media-wise and fun stuff. And anything last you guys want to shout out, say anything?
Movie makes you want to watch Sharknado.
Shark Week coming up soon.
Sure.
I think I said it all, guys. I'm just happy it's over.
All right.
Just happy. Happy we can maybe watch something fun for next week.
All right. This was Toaden's Media Layer Sandwich. Please rate or share, or let us know your thoughts. And like I said, this is we're revamping this, so we're gonna try different things, and feedback is great. Bye. Toodles.